Welcome back, family of light. It's Davita from Medium of the Light Tarot. I'm going to try something a little bit different here, spice things up a bit. Wanted to do a hot take on Spirit's idea of the current state of affairs for COVID, and especially with the onslaught of the Omicron. I think that's how you pronounce it. Okay, Spirit. So this could be something where it's heavily tarot, could be tarot and channeling, or one or both, or blah. You know what I mean? All right. I do see the numbers drastically going up, and this is an example of how the machine, even during a pandemic, will not stop. And if you're wondering, this is the Deviant Moon Tarot. What I'm hearing here is the government is definitely choosing to placate to big industry, because the ones on top feel that they are protected as long as they have the money flowing in. But of course, this is false advertising. As far, I don't know if that makes sense, but that's the word that I'm hearing. It's like they're advertising to the people that they don't mind stepping on, that everything's okay, it's business as usual. What is the main impetus for the CDC? For some reason, I'm hearing that the CDC, the head honchos are definitely feeling like, oh, we're tired of being, the heavies, and so let's just give industry what they want. And here's industry behind the chariot here, trying to keep things going even if it's at a crawl. And that's all things that we know, right? So Spirit, give us something about the continuance of COVID. There's something that's about, they're drip feeding us information about how dangerous this is, this new variant. It's kind of like they're hoping that if they can just keep telling the same mixed signals, it will keep everybody, on bated breath and holding on to what they have, trying to stay balanced, because it's kind of like the people who are in power are trying to please the system. Now, so far, we've been talking generally about the mechanism of government in the role of trying to keep the government going while we're experiencing this. Now, the Justice card just came out. And it's interesting because this came out with it. And Justice is holding two swords, and so is the Queen of Swords. And the Queen of Swords generally never is carrying two. Now, guides, tell me more about that. What I'm getting from this is there's just more and more anxiety, frustration, mental anguish. There's a large toll, and we already all know this, a large toll on mental health for people because of this strain of having a pandemic. Now, in the coming months, is the variant going to wane? No, it's going to be prosperous. and it's going to be abundant. I'm hearing with this one that there is going to be some sort of a breakthrough with some kind of a medical treatment or something to where less lives will be lost. But there's some sort of kind of race against time in there because they're really going into this, the checkered floor here. Now tell me more about the floor. Yeah, there's medical companies that are vying for a cure, an end, something to dismantle or break down the viability of the replication and the continuance of the COVID virus. Now tell me more about how this will continue to affect us. I'm just getting that we're still going to be losing a lot of people. And the situation with governmental, authorities is going to be harder and harder for the public to really withstand. And the division that it has caused is going to cause an uprising. What I'm hearing is more so than they want to admit. And who's they? The higher ups, the people with the money, the people with the power. They just want to keep their party going. Like, they don't want to have to be disrupted. They want their record profits. Spirit is saying that this is kind of a mechanism for a awakening. Some people on some sides say it's going to be this uprising. Some people are saying that it's going to be a revolution. But also see how there's these two faces here. I think that even though there's going to be an uprising, they're going to be able to control enough, the powers that be, to keep, things at bay. Now, this is interesting. I really didn't think that this was going to be about governmental agencies and the power that be and how they're trying to keep, the wheel of the economy continuing to move forward. Well, what else is the impacts? Or what other questions can we ask? Let's see. What other things do you want to share, Spirit, that would be helpful for the watcher and myself moving forward into this new year of 2022? Interestingly, with the Hierophant, it's, orthodox, it's establishment, but there's going to be a further deterioration of the establishment. There's going to be a lot more people waking up and really looking deeply into what is the society set up as? Are we fulfilling our true desires as human beings? And I would definitely say that, this pandemic has forced us to really look deeper. They want to touch on how this is affecting people mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. For those of you who are finding your head deeply downtrodden, the Spirit's request that you lift up your eyes and continue to look and make your own decisions on what you see around you. because the establishment wants to keep you sad. Either you're scared of getting COVID and the many variants, or you're scared of losing your job or not having enough. They're also asking us to go above the BS. You know, and it's interesting to see stilts. Is that the right word? I think. But you know what I mean. You know, and of course, this is an otherworldly deck, but look how there's two faces here. It's kind of like the inner parts of us are waking up and saying, no, I'm not staying down in the drudgery anymore. I truly believe that this is the awakening of our species from the slavery mentality, the passive slavery system. And look what kind of attitude we're going to get in return. They're definitely going to be putting up a fight. The establishment. And this is also on the flip side, us going, no, I'm not doing this anymore. As in the Great Resignation. You know, and people who are really bound to the idea of the machine that is the economy, they're terrified and they're going to tell any lies they need to keep it rolling. Oh, it's because people are lazy. Oh, it's because this or that. No, we're all waking up in one form or fashion. Now, what else would you like to share here, guides? The more that we can see how the establishment has treated us, see how it hides, see how it's actually very scared. These people who are, you know, in their ivory tower, untouched by financial, you know, situations or anything like that, we're tired. And I think as a human race, this is what the Spirit is trying to tell us. Overall, that this is an impetus to wake the F up. And everybody's going to have their own opinion on what that is, depending on their belief system and their level of awakenness. Now, what is it that we can do as a species to make the most of this situation that we find ourselves in? Abundance. I'm hearing here with this one is if we can learn to put our resources together in a cooperative, abundant way and realize the truth, and that the truth is there's abundance in everything, and money is just pieces of paper that have been printed. We can always print more or change the way we do business and how we trade. What else do we need to know here? It's interesting because that's my cat feeder. And there's more abundance and it just automatically came. Mirror. So this is asking us, and see how it's interesting where there is, you know, a corpse there. So it's some sort of a ceremony of death. You know, and then here is, it looks like the proverbial stork delivering something. Looking to see that we are going to lose people along the way, whether it's from COVID or anything else. But it's how we realize that the cycle of life can be brought into much more of a compassionate, open, loving system. Especially here in America, where we hide away the disabled, the elderly. And this is also about honoring one's fear. because everyone is been programmed to fear death. And in this situation, death is inevitable. Like I said, whether it's through COVID or any other means. Okay, well, what else, guys? The green woman. Getting more in touch with Earth, the mother, the breath of life. It's really the whole thing in this is asking us to go back to our roots, or create roots that we didn't even have, because we have been trained to disassociate ourselves with the deeper and more profound aspects of life. This is the lesson of COVID. We're in this together if we can work together. And granted, you're not going to be able to work with everyone because everyone's going to have their own opinions. But if the light can be achieved, I think that the true meaning of COVID will become apparent to all of us. This is an awakening mechanism. This is a last call to go into nature, to honor the mother, honor ourselves, honor everything and everyone. Because the more love that we can generate, I think the better off we're all going to be. Is it going to be a rough ride? Hell yeah, it is. But together we can do this. I hope that this was helpful, you guys. Spirit, anything else? Make sure that you please give this a thumbs up if you would, so we'll get spread around to other people. Healing. Who doesn't need healing? We have all the abundance that we need here. We just have to realize that the system isn't serving us. And that is the mechanism of COVID, is to show us, whether it was man-made or not, that there's more to life than the way we've been learned and love. There's just more to it. And I'm excited to move forward, and I hope you guys are too. All right, you guys, thank you so much for listening, and I will see you guys next time on Medium of the Light Tarot. Bye-bye for now.